Since the 2022 model year, this generation Subaru WRX is a hit or a miss. Still has a fantastic all-wheel drive. You can get it with the manual. Unfortunately, some of the best features are locked into the top model that has a lovely CVT transmission. And in terms of styling, I think many people would agree that the previous generation looked a little bit better. Paint-matched wheel arches. It actually had a painted rear bumper the previous generation. And then you add in the massive touchscreen, which pretty much all Subarus have. It's less than an ideal WRX. And the STI is just sad at this point, right? The fact that there's no inkling of a new STI is really, really sad. Look what I just stumbled upon. I almost started recording a video on the new Hilux and the new Hi-Ace, which we don't get either in the United States, but I have a pretty big global following, and you guys love the Hilux, and I love both the Hilux and the Hi-Ace. So I was going to talk about the next generation variants of those very successful models. But at the top, I kind of stumbled into this. Not the Leaf, which I'll be driving the Leaf later this summer, so stay tuned for that. But we have development of a WRX, and it is going to be exhibited at the Japan Mobility Show, which I will be attending again this year like I did in 2023. So if you guys are excited for a new WRX, and hold on, and maybe it will be a true hatchback once again. Again, I'll have to make a separate video on the Hilux, for example, and I'll go and put on the screen because I haven't photoshopped it. At the time of this recording, I'll go and splice these two halves together so you guys have an idea of the WRX's new design. But I'm going to read this with you guys for the first time. Super Taikyu Fuji 24-hour race surprise announcement. Subaru is reimagining their sports car. And this looks like the teaser. It says the only clues are somewhat blurry bird's eye view photo and a brief explanation from the engineer. What kind of car is this suddenly revealed as a Subaru sports car? So they're going to take their guesses as well as some wishful thinking. They are saying there is a big bulge for that engine on the hood. There are large bulging fenders on the front and rear, and a spoiler is also installed on the lower front. It looks quite militant, they say, and they are expecting it to be the successor of the WRX. But the large wing at the rear of the roof makes it look like the STI, the R205, which was released in 2010 with a limited production of 400 units. All right, so Subaru says, I want to plan on an interesting car that is Subaru-like. We will make it by making good use of our current technological assets. Please, God, no CVT. God, no, like Michael at the office to Toby, no effing CVT. We're also thinking about an even more cutting-edge car in the future. I mean, if that's not an STI, what is it, right? So they're saying that from the Super Taikyu series, they're learning more about turbos, which you'd think Subaru knows plenty about that. They're learning more about carbon fiber and four-wheel drive. Well, carbon fiber makes sense, but four-wheel drive control, you'd think they would have that figured out by now too. There's always things you can learn, things you can improve upon. I get it. Now, of course, here's the thing. A little bit of a cliffhanger. Subaru said, we will give you details at Japan Mobility Show, but not everything. Of course, they're not going to say everything. When any manufacturer reveals a car, they don't reveal everything. Oftentimes, it's just the design and not specs whatsoever. So I don't expect any specs. Oh, and if you're wondering when it will be revealed, Japan Mobility Show is right around Halloween, right before Halloween. So, and very end of October, I will be there to give you guys hopefully hands-on coverage with this vehicle, assuming media has access to it. And looking at this glorious second page, I mean, the back end of it looks incredible. A little light bar. It kind of looks like the rear end of the Solterra a bit, at least with the tail lights. But I love the dual exhaust, the wing in the back, the side profile looks pretty cool, I would say. Do you guys like the fender vents here? That makes it very wide body looking. I think it looks pretty fantastic. So let's read what they have to say here. And they want to be clear that this is going to be a 5-door hatchback. Praise the gods of Mount Fuji, right? They're saying platform-wise, there's only one Subaru platform, and that is true nowadays, and that is a Subaru global platform, which I really enjoy that platform. So it's that the CVTs take away from an enjoyable drive experience most of the time. Subaru said that they're looking to get the S210 Performance. That was a very limited car. I think that was limited to 500 units, S210. And they want to give that performance to the masses for less than 5 million yen. So looking at conversion, 5 million, we're looking at less than $35,000. We know that the current WRX is too expensive. I mean, check this out. Now, there was a time where you could get crazy deals in the WRX because they were overproducing them. I mean, there are hardly any in my area. And when you have such a low volume, the manufacturers are not going to discount. So I'm seeing a $38,000 one. That's the cheapest I'm finding in my area. If I look within 500 miles, there are just no discounts to be found on the WRX. I remember at one point in time they were around $32,000 with discounts a couple years ago. But that's no longer the case. Of course, the Subaru's aiming for manual transmission. That's no surprise. It needs to have a manual. Subaru's technical director, Fujinuki-san, wants to make an attractive car by making good use of the current technological assets. And they're saying that it's essentially going to be based on the WRX that we get in the United States. But if you import it as it is, meaning just a 5-door WRX, they're saying it will lack freshness. I don't think so. I think people would be really excited about it. I mean, I've been wanting rev matching downshifts on Subaru manuals for a long time, and we don't have it. Maybe I'm just lazy. Maybe I don't want to heel toe. Maybe I don't want to rev match myself. I like doing that from time to time, but I also like having the option of auto rev matching downshifts, and hopefully Subaru can implement that technology. Look, they work with Toyota. Toyota has it on their GR Corolla, the GR Yaris. Why can't they have auto rev match? They also have it on the Supra, but again, that's not really a Toyota product entirely, as you guys know. They're saying that Subaru might include a hybrid here. That would absolutely kill it for me because the likeliness of it having a manual transmission if it was a hybrid doesn't make sense. Best Car is saying that they would like to see a 1.8 liter with supercharged lean burn and a hybrid. So the last part's a little too speculative for me with hybrids. Maybe having a downsized model. That doesn't make a lot of sense for the United States market. So Subaru's working on this, and whatever they are working on, I will give you hands-on coverage at the Japan Mobility Show this fall. A manual 5-door hatchback WRX looks to be it. If it's just a 5-door variant of what we have now with the current WRX, I think people are still going to be pretty happy. But if they can hit the styling out of the park, give us a little bit more of a premium appearance, I would say, I think it's going to go a long ways. But this is Subaru. I'm not expecting hardly anything from them at this point. Everyone is essentially becoming a crossover brand. You might be saying, Kirk, well, look at what Toyota came out with, something as special as the GR4 system, that little 1.6 triple cylinder. I mean, yeah, that's true. But Toyota also has the cash. They're the world's largest automaker. They have the cash to burn on motorsports projects, especially since Akio Toyoda, master race car driver, who also just raced, I think, in Le Mans. He's never going to let motorsports die while he still draws breath for Toyota. Now, Subaru, it's different, right? They're chasing sales, they're chasing profitability, and right now with tariffs, I'm sure this WRX not very high on their priority list. But if they come out with it to replace the 4-door with the 5-door, give it auto rev matching, downshifts, I think I'd be pretty happy. Let me know what you guys would want. I don't want to get my expectations too high. Styling, again, the current one looks fine. It looks a little cheap in certain instances, as you guys know. But please God, no CVTs. Subaru, no CVTs, or at least use Toyota's 8-speed auto that they have in the GR Corolla. Why can't Subaru do that? That would be fantastic Let me know what you guys think. I'll catch you guys in the comments. This one's been fun. I'm not a huge Subaru WRX fan, at least of the modern ones. And a lack of an STI is kind of sad, but they need to make this car more fun to drive, more engaging to drive. The current one is not very enjoyable to drive compared to so many other cars out there, but that's just my take. That's very highly subjective. But I'll see you guys in the comments. Have a great day. Long live Subaru and the WRX and STI, and peace out.